people that I've given unto you will eventually rebel against Joshua. And it's going to happen after you die. And what's so bad about it, he says, Moses, I'm already going to let you know ahead of time, because of their rebel, I'm going to punish them severely. And so Moses tells Israel, he said, listen, I know that after my death, you're going to become utterly corrupt, and you're going to turn from the path that I have commanded you to follow, and in the days to come, disaster will come down on you, for the Lord will make you remember, and he'll become very angry by what you've been doing in his sight. He said, I'm begging you, please, remember. Yeah. Then he goes with the contention of the crisis, because he says, listen, Moses urges Israel, remember. He sound like a broken record. Remember and reflect on how the Lord is perfect. Remember and reflect on how the Lord is just. Remember and reflect on how God is faithful. So he reminds them that God is the only God that is able to kill and to give life, to wound and to heal. And then finally, Moses closes his address by telling them, listen, you made it this far simply by the grace of God. Yeah. Moses reminds them to remember how God found them in a desert place, in an empty place, a howling wasteland. He said, remember how down you was and you had nobody to pick you up. Remember when you were all alone and all by yourself. Remember how God watched over you, and how the Lord guarded you as his most precious prized possessions. And we too, brothers and sisters, just as Moses instructed Israel, we too must remember and reflect of how good God has been to us. Remember and reflect on how our Negro ancestors were brought over to the Atlantic and East Coast in stocks and feathers, sold to the highest bidder on auction blocks, fathers and sons being separated, mothers and daughters being separated. Remember and reflect on how they had no freedom. And you ought to bless God because you are able to come and go as you please. You ought to remember. Remember and how they had to work like dogs, picking cotton and serving their master. And God got it now the way you can choose if you're going to go to work today. You ought to just remember. Thank you. Just as God used Moses, God used somebody. And not only I tell you the person he used, God don't always have somebody in place to accomplish his will. Doesn't seem like it's moving fast enough, but do you not know, brothers and sisters, we have been purposely positioned by God. And God intends for his mission to be accomplished. God will always have somebody in place to accomplish his will. Listen, it was the Lord that moved upon a white man by the name of Abraham Lincoln to have compassion for Negroes. Just as there was a law during the time of Moses, such as was made over thousands of generations later, because guess what? God's word still never changes. But the United States wrote a bylaw, which is known to us today as the Emancipation Proclamation, known as the Constitution of the United States. Yes, the Emancipation helped Negroes, but it did not come in instant. It is proclaimed in final form in January 1st, 1863. But from then to the end of the war, as soon as the Union forces were able to take charge of a certain area, then only in that area were the slaves free. Now, brothers and sisters, the proclamation did not open the way for later gains, along with the practice of allowing Negroes to fight in the war, but God working in the background. They've gone from working in the field, and I wish somebody would see God working in the background. Doesn't look like God moving, but they left from the field, and now they're working, fighting in the war, in which, because of the Negroes fighting in that war, they gained much respect by the white man in doing so. And so President Lincoln's other political efforts, it helped convince bordering states to end slavery and let the Negroes go free voluntarily, and then finally to passage of the 13th Amendment. But the complaint was that the emancipation did not free slaves in Union territory. And because of that, it became very misleading to the slaves. Because Negroes thought they were freed only to later to be recaptured and enslaved again. That looked like God was working. But the whole point is that at the time, President Lincoln, according to the racist and stiff-necked people, they felt that he had no constitutional authority to simply declare slaves free because he wanted to. And y'all know there's always somebody who opposes change, don't you? And brothers and sisters, the basis for the proclamation was the leaders, the president's war powers. Now watch this. Which gave him the right to take away and deprive those slave masters who would not free the Negroes. He had the right to subdue their property and other means of what they had. Now, of course, you know, this later brought about the death of Lincoln. But he didn't mind. God used him for doing what was right, that all men were created equal and not to be enslaved.